Was the wrong title card. Stream is not ending, stream is beginning. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely on me. So, tonight we've got some more Heavensward content. We're gonna get through a few dungeons. Got people running around me. So we'll just hop right in and start getting to skipping the quests. I hope that you are all doing very well tonight. I'm doing my best. Well, that is a name for a character. Let's see. Walk, that's the Lusting Strip. So what I'm planning on doing is unlocking the next Hildebrand quest. Quest line to get the next duty. Which should be another fight with Gilgamesh. The fight that I remember the most. I still don't remember it very well. So many fights in this game. It's nice because there's a lot of overlap in mechanics. Not 100% the same mechanics. But enough overlap that you can understand what's going on. Speak with Hildebrand. That's what Hildebrand is. He's sort of like comical version of Austin Powers. The Sins of Asimo. Want to go out the Sultana's Gate. For the time being, we have happy little bunny that is going to be getting beat on. Oh, caramel. Next 30 seconds. Online. Not many people. Alright. What do you have to say for yourself this time? Take the quest. I'm actually a little disappointed that they did not progress and give more Hildebrand quests after the initial run. There were like 3 or 4 sections of it. And because I know that there aren't many that basically I've completed most of it, I have not progressed it on Sav. Because there's just this thing in my head that if there's something that I really enjoy, I don't want it to end. And I'm getting better at dealing with that. Book series by Emmer Pierce that I have been... I know it's not the last book in the series, but it's the last book in the quartet. For those of you that know author, would be the Immortals series. Second collection in that world. And she is a lovely person. I had the chance to go and she was doing a book tour, and she was, instead of just like getting together and doing a book signing, she had a Q&A before the book signing. So yeah, we got to sit and ask her questions, get answers to questions, and I ran into somebody from school there, which was kind of interesting. Apparently she and her roommate had bonded over books when they were made freshman roommates. So if you ever get a chance, I do highly recommend her books. Find that a lot of times books that are written for young adults are they're better written than a lot of the books that I've read that are aimed at adults. And I don't necessarily understand the the thinking behind that, but if anybody's talking about young adult authors, they tend to be of a higher caliber. Back to Alchemist. But yeah, I'm one of the sad things about writing that I'm discovering is that there's a lot of the critically acclaimed books that you come across, and I'm not talking about like the big names in writing. We're not referring to like Ray Pratchett or Stephen King or um, Anne Rice or anyone like that. We're referring to the people that have just like one series to their name, or they've got like one or two books that, you know, people are like, we really like this book. A lot of times those authors are shit. And, you know, they're like critically acclaimed books. And, you know, the concepts and whatnot, yeah, they might be acclaimed, but might be new or presented in a different way. But the authors themselves, they're really not that gifted. So it gives me hope because I know I'm crap. And, you know, if the Dexter series can, I mean, granted, I've only read the first book in the Dexter series, but if the series continues in the same vein as the first book, then it's just gonna be like 2/3 of the book with the main character basically being, oh, I'm angry and I'm broody. Oh, come on, I gotta go through it all again. There we go. It's like that, My Immortal, fanfiction from years past. So pretentious, so, edgy. Not in the fact that it's actually edgy, but in the, oh, I am so dark, I am so brooding, so whatever. That's pretty much all the first Dexter book was a lot of introspection without introspection. Talking about himself, or one might say mental masturbation, talking about how he is so different all the time. And kind of like how a lot of people latched on to Heath Ledger's version of the Joker and were saying, oh yes, I'm so edgy because I am like this. Or even worse, they decide to go with the Jared Leto version of the Joker. Like, oh, look at me, I'm so unique. Yeah. So, Jeff Lindsay, I'm sorry, but you're not a great author. But I've sat down and I actually spent a lot of the past couple years reading a bunch of young adult fiction. Because as I said, it tends to be fairly well written. I mean, there's more of a cohesive storyline that carries through everything than you get in the younger fiction. And there is, they're able to get away with stuff that you would not find in more mature fiction because it takes on the... You can get away with more fantasy in that sense. Like if you tried to write Captain America or something like that in a book format, it's not going to be read well. So, Hammer Pierce, really good. Rick Riordan as well is a very good one. I'm just looking at my books. I still need to read the Millennium Trilogy. And it shall remain a trilogy because the author died. I kind of take issue with people that want to continue a storyline without the author's blessing. It's like, at least with the Conan stuff, Burroughs worked with some of the people that took over the series after he died. I'm seeing some stuff from various people about Berserk, about how the target it first, don't deselect it. Berserk probably had its final chapter, and it will be forever an unfinished work. But we shall see. Speak with Urianger. Skip the cutscene. Skip the cutscenes. Gotta go to Nofka's. Okay. But I'm finding that, you know, even reading bad fiction can be... By bad, I just mean, like, poorly written or poorly designed. One can't carry... If they were a musician, they couldn't carry a tune. into the desert. What a name for a location, the Lost Hope. Oh, that's not even... Side quest. I don't know why I picked that one up. Taking care of now. We want to go to Hildebrand near... Don't want Thanalin, we want, Quarry Mill. Last time we went through the first 50 floors of the House of the Dead. Yep, somebody is stomping upstairs. Battle in the Big Keep. Big Bridge, Dragon's Neck, battle in the Big Keep. Right. First duty of the night. And because I've queued for a duty, I don't really want to get started talking about something and then get put off in the middle of it. This? What's this? Hell's Word now accessible. Now explore beyond level 50. Milan. And... oh, that's just... There's a huge storyline that goes through this from when you begin the game, so it's a very sad storyline, but DPS. Kick himself if he doesn't click accept. Battle in the Big Keep. If you get linked with people in this match, I believe you've got to hug each other. In other words, run and get close to each other. Avoid the AoEs that the bosses are going to toss out. White Wind is going to be a knockback. No, White Wind is just a healing. And I get turned into a chicken. When you get turned into a chicken, you want to aim for the wind on the ground. Get rid of them. Hey, Lazalicious, welcome in. So right now I'm a chicken, so I can't really do much. Good thing I've got a very strong lead on hate. There we go. Once Enkidu is down, we will do some damage on Gilgamesh a little bit, and then he's going to run away. Whoa! Whoa! Laz! Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you very much. I don't know what to say right now. Yeah, thank you, Laz. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for words right now, because my brain was shifted into teaching mode, so I'm going back to streaming mode, so... Thank you. First follow and then the sub, so I just... House of Mike, hi. Welcome in. And to everybody that got a sub, I hope you enjoy the emotes, because they're fun little emotes. Yeah, I'm gonna rerun this for the tutorial, because that just broke me. Avoid the ground AoEs, it'll come twice. So yeah, Laz, thank you. Oh, yep. Destroy the iron chains while the boss is away from them. I have been doing decently okay. Been trying to do more streaming. Oh. Been focusing on doing mostly dungeons in this. Oh, we got heads. We gotta destroy the heads. Thank you for the consume liquid. I shall. I've been trying to have fun with everything that I'm doing. Mom's doing a lot better. She's taking care of herself for the most part right now. The only thing that I really need to help her with is occasionally making food and hanging her laundry or getting something heavy. Because she's still on a weight limit. She's not allowed to lift anything above 15 pounds. Oh yeah. I love this game. I've been playing it since 2010. Since it originally came out. and I'd be discussing how you're actually supposed to go through the fight, but I kind of got mentally derailed, which is okay. I'm not complaining in the slightest. I'm glad that Laz came in and followed. The original game came out in 2010. The re-release, which was the 2.0 release, came out in 2013. So they've been having their eighth year anniversary, because they kind of disavowed the 1.0 release. And I can rightly understand that. They took a lot of the story from the 1.0 and built upon that, but oh, there was so much stupidity with the original release. They outsourced it, and the people they outsourced it to didn't know anything about Final Fantasy, so it was like misspellings all over the place of like things that should not be misspelled. True. This one, I think the personality hasn't changed since 2.0 came out. The game itself has changed in that you know, they're still trying to like balance all the classes, and with new classes coming out every expansion, they do a decent job of balancing it, and PvP and PvE have been completely divorced from each other. So if I go into PvP right now, I'm going to get a completely different... Here, I'll show you. Let's go to the Wolf's Den Pier. You get a completely different set of skills that are used specifically in PvP. Anything beyond that is... yeah, so... Bring up my skills. Oh, no. Under P, it's... Alright, where is it? Roll. Under PvP, isn't it? There we go. So you have PvP actions. These are the skills that I have available to me. Whereas before, my bars were completely full of all the skills that I've got available to me. And then you get to choose up to 2 additional skills. Do I get my heal? I haven't PvP'd as a tank before. Do not get my heal. But PvP is something else that I'm going to get into at a different point. Let's not do that one. Let's continue with the main storyline and unlock new stuff. But yeah, I mean, skills will change over time, but the general voice of the storylines are the same. And I think that having something unifying over multiple expansions has been good for this game. A lot of MMOs try to treat each expansion as its own little separate world, and it kind of disconnects. There's major disconnects that happen when you're trying to do a narrative like that. And I think you know what game I'm talking about with that. But, graphically, hasn't changed. They've made things a little bit more sharp for expansion areas. But for the most part, you know, this was one of the new races. I'm playing the other new race right now. And, The only thing that they haven't gotten right is headgear. They still can't, neither of them can wear all the helmets because they are differently structured. And it would require creating an entirely new sprite for it. Whereas they can just modify the current sprites for various... It's like making gear hang off of different characters. You just adjust where certain points are and use the same model. But when you introduce something like tall bunny ears, it kind of breaks a lot of where you'd put the models. Because a lot of the helmets that you would have on the Mikote, which are the cat people, they actually like have the ears built into the helmets. So if you're wearing heavy armor, you'll just like see two little cat ears on top. That's true of regardless of gender. Where are we going? Where are we going? Akulu Falls. Alright. So what I'm doing is I'm just playing through this, focusing mainly on the dungeons. As I said, I'm going to rerun Battle on the Big Bridge, or Battle in the Big Keep. Because kind of got derailed. And I'm doing sort of tutorials for people that are new to the game, explaining it beginning to end, dungeons, trials, which is what we were just in, and the 24-man raids. And I'll probably be getting into the 8-man raids as well when I reach something that's not Binding Coil of Bahamut, because Binding Coil of Bahamut was sort of a... It tried to follow the raid patterns of other games when there was no need to. So it had like trash mobs, and then you get to the boss and you fight the boss, and you got 90 minutes to clear the area. And it was usually one boss per section. They kept the one boss per section thing, but there were some fights in Binding Coil of Bahamut that were not boss fights. It was more exposition than anything. And while I like the concept, that's not something that really should be an entire level. It can be a standalone private duty type thing. So after in Heaven's Word, they did Alexander as the 8-man raid series, and it is 3 selections of 4. No, it's 4 sections of 4, so 16 total levels. And some of them do have, you know, like trash fights getting up to the boss. Where am I even going? Other Workers Guild. So they do have some trash fights going up to the boss, but they streamlined it more to where you're not going to get waylaid by the trash. The trash is not the deciding factor on if you can clear the level. It's just giving you an idea of what you're going to be going up against by maybe showing, well, this trash mob will use this ability that this boss is going to use. And just sort of like familiarizing the players a little bit before you get to the boss. In Heaven's Word, or in Shadowbringers, the current expansion, a lot of the dungeons that you go through will have mechanics that carry over to raid bosses. So it gives you a chance to test yourself on raid boss mechanics without having to, wipe continuously against the boss, and, get you into the thinking of this is something that's going to come up again later. Most fights in this game are going to have something that comes up again later. From about level 25 on. Story Potato. Oh, we have to go all the way into the Conjurer's Guild. I've been playing this character from level 1, doing these videos, and streaming it. Currently level 63, this is the 19th installment. And I have been enjoying the crap out of it because there are changes that have been made, storyline structurally, just because of the changes made to the functionality of how you progress in the game. Like, paladins start out as gladiator. So if I remove this stone, I turn back into a gladiator. And it gets rid of a lot of my beneficial upgraded skills. And I think towards the end of Heavensward, they removed the requirement for low-level characters to level up a secondary class to unlock jobs. So I can sit here as just Paladin Gladiator is the only job I've played. Whereas, in order to have progressed this when the game came out, I would have had to level up Conjurer, which is the precursor to White Mage, since they kind of like share some concepts and skills. So they got rid of that, and they had to reorganize some of the quest lines to fit better with the changes. So you don't lose anything from the quests. You still have the same number of quests and the same rewards from the quests. It's just that they've altered them to be more in sync with the game changes. So there's thought behind what they do. I've been skipping all the story because this is all content that you can download the game and play for free. You can go to level 60 and complete all of the quests that are associated with the original 2.0 release and the 3.0 content. Why am I doing that when I can skip it? So, if you want to enjoy the storyline, I wholeheartedly suggest you start playing. It's really worth it, in my opinion. And you don't have to pay for the game until you decide that you want to progress beyond level 60. You can have Paladin, Dark Knight, Warrior, Monk, Dragoon, Ninja, Bard, Machinist, Black Mage, Summoner, and Scholar. White Mage, and Astrologian. All the other ones you would have to get, like, that the one for Gunblade? Yeah. So to be a Gunbreaker, yeah, the quest is here at level 60, but you have to have Shadowbringers to access that quest. But anything that is not related to the Stormblood or Shadowbringers, you can complete. Side quests, everything. Alright, we are going to Earthus Foundation. And it's nice going back and playing a low-level character again and seeing some of the changes that have been made. Like, I didn't know until I made this character that they had removed the requirements to level a secondary class, which was definitely a good thing on their part, because by having to switch and level a new character, you hit 30 and then you've got to go and level something else to 15. It was just a nightmare when you just wanted to progress the storyline. And I can tell you that it was not something that everybody enjoyed. Like, my main character is maxed in all jobs except for Blue Mage. And early on I just said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to level everything to 15, and then when I decide to actually level the other jobs, it won't matter what I'm doing, because I won't have to stop and go level a different job. It was just a hiccup in trying to progress the storyline, because you hit 30 and then you have to stop playing your job. Have to stop progression so that you can go level something that is not... You may not even want to level that class. Alright, where are we going? We're going over here. Right. Where are we going? Oh! We're going to the hinterlands. Well, new area. Meaning we get to gather up a bunch of air currents. We can fly. Oh. Thank you for your generosity. Lazalicious, you are a true MVP today. Got a new overlay that I'm going to be working on this Sunday. Like getting all the triggers set up and everything for it. And possibly reworking some of it so that it'll look decent.
To the
Got a few cutscenes to get through. If you're not interested in playing the game, I know that there are a bunch of you can find a bunch of videos that just are the storyline. There are some people that, you know, they want to experience the story, but this isn't their cup of tea. And, you know, there are some people that can read, they can do audiobooks, but they cannot do actual books. So, my purpose is teaching dungeons right now. I may come back and do storyline, Hey, the false Gigantopithecus. That is a B rank hunt target, meaning you can solo it. Compass again. So it is going to be in there. Hunt targets are a side thing that can help you with leveling additional jobs. And it will give you currency that you can spend on stuff like increasing your movement speed in certain areas. Can be closed, so where is the opening? The north. Outside. It's right there. So, what I'm doing is collecting all of the ether currents that are available for the zone. The Dravinian hinterlands is right here. There are 5 that are accumulated via quest, and there are 10 that are accumulated by going around and interacting with them like I did right there. Find them using the... So it is going to be in there, but I just have to get in there first. Well, I'm going to go around the other way just in case I accidentally skipped it. So, just because you have a flying mount, which in this game all mounts can fly, it doesn't mean that when you enter a new area you know exactly what you're doing. And it forces you to be on the ground and interact with the zone. Here's the entrance. Kind of odd seeing the guild named Zen, free company named Zen, running around, because that was the last guild that I was in on World of Warcraft. There were some good people in there, and there were some absolute horrible people in there as well. I try not to speak ill of people if I can avoid it. I'm trying harder to implement that. If you can't say anything nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. And I'll just set it as, I did not like them. And I'm the kind of person that tries to find something good in everybody. Gotta go to the north now. The Dravinian hinterlands is separated in 2 sections. Separated by this river. Kind of goes down. Cleaved in twain. I said when I came here I was going to grab all of these before I progressed. Just because it makes everything a lot easier later on. First area, Summoning Stone. Now, from my understanding, we're going to be hitting an area that... this section over here. And it's kind of a disappointment for some new characters. For a lot of new players, I should say. Because, the area that you're going into is a place that is talked about still being built. And when you came here in 3.0, it was still being built. But through 3.1 and progressive chapters, it got built. And there really was no need to basically have new characters that wander in there seeing the final product. They could have had it as instanced for the different players that were progressing, so that it actually felt like you were experiencing the world instead of what I hate, coming in and seeing completed world when there was still storyline going on. Things did not meet up. And I think in later instances, later expansions, they have... I'll find out when I get to Stormblood. Go down there and over and up there. Oh, no, I can go up there. So when you get to Stormblood, there is another location that's like this that gradually gets built up. So I'm going to see if that carries forward or not. Get a cutscene at the zone line. Maybe not. But Idleshire is, when you first came in and saw this place, it was a work in progress. This building was not... No, that building was there. This building was not. These buildings over here were not. So it's a little disappointing that they did not implement that for Heaven's Word. Oh, I can't... They won't let me. See, this is something that's also a disconnect with the entire city being built up and this still being blocked off. Does not make sense. Hello, neighbors. So I'm gonna see if that holds true when we get to Stormblood. Broadsword. We'll do that and see if we can sell it. Got to say knots and crosses. For you, keeping up with the ally opposed. That might actually be a good thing to do. So, this will unlock one of my favorite aspects of, one of my favorite things that they added in this, that they just need to get a second location for Chloe to be, and that is the adventure book. Wondrous Tales. Chloe is a rambunctious, adorable little Mikote who wants to hear stories. And the stories are linked to what you can access. So, Wondrous Tales. Complete one of the following instance dungeons. Dungeons 1 through 49. It's always going to be dungeons or trials or raids. Like, I can't access the Void Arc because that's the level 60 duties. Full of Embers Extreme. It makes you attempt to do the extreme duties. Thorn March Extreme, which I've done on this character. Minstrel's Ballad, Ultima's Bane, which is the Ultima fight from... golly, I can't remember the name. Ultima fight... Thorium. Yes. But harder. Then we've got Limitless Blue Extreme, which is... yeah, Bismarck fight, but harder. Binding Coil of Bahamut, turn 5. Second Coil of Bahamut, turn 1. And then PvP. Always going to be a PvP aspect to it. Alright, so we want... Knots and crosses. That again. Okay, what's the exact phrase? Oh, I've got to capitalize both letters. Okay. That's a handy little tip for anybody that's watching. If you have to say something, you have to say it exactly like they type it out in the text. So if there's an exclamation point, you got to use the exclamation point. But yeah, this building wasn't there. So the narrative of rebuilding this place is not going to read as well. And I really hope that they keep that for, like, use the instanced areas. Because, like, right now I can go in here and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to talk with the vendors. Yep. I can come in here, I can buy Disciple or 1. So I can get the 240 gear. That actually, it does show up because it's an open topped helm. So I could get the 240 gear, but I got the 255 gear. Alexander Parts Exchange. So for the narrative aspect, disappointment here. But I think it's just, it was easier on their side. You can still have multiple characters in the same area that are in different instances. So long as the zone is pretty much the same, or you just like have, you know, certain sections, like over here, you have a blockade right here that prevents people from going into this area until they've reached a certain, like, quest point. You just have it just not appear. But, you know, you'd have people disappearing into these buildings, and I'm sure people would be questioning why. The order? Vanian Hinterlands. Oh, it's gonna make me laugh if that was all I needed to... Nope, it's still unavailable. So I'm gonna go down to the south and see if I can get across using the bridge that's down there. Louder than words. Okay, that's going to give me a ether current. But we have the Saint Mochion's Arboretum and the Great Google Library. Pretty sure the library is the next one that I have to do. This is a relatively big area. Thank you, tap clicks. Okay, can we get by this without triggering circle? Yes, we can. That's a wonderful thing. When you come in, you got this dome here. And because I haven't... This is a good example of what I was referring to, of what they can do with the cities. You just prevent people from interacting with it. But the dome is empty. This dome will eventually hold Alexander. But as it sits, it's empty. Because I haven't flagged off the things that I need to actually get in there. Here and climb up a bit, I believe. Yeah, these guys. It's taking more bosses in certain dungeons. I was able to. But you can see why going around without flying can be a bit, a hassle. Here we go. Alright. Question is, can you actually get over there? Nope. Not gonna be able to. Right here, but this won't let me... Oh? Maybe it will. Southwest. Okay, it looks like I can do it. Good. So this is a roundabout way to get to other side. And this is mainly just to get the ether currents. Or did we finally hit the point where we can't continue? Yep. Alright. So, that just means that we cannot, can't do that. And I didn't get the Idleshire, crystal. This zone is going to be unique in that there are no, aetheryte crystals anywhere. So the closest one is going to be in Idleshire. So when I go back to Idleshire, I will pick that up. A little disappointed that I can't explore and discover the whole zone until after I progress the storyline. But it's to be expected. could use a level... What is it? Instant max level. But there's... I don't enjoy... I don't think I've ever enjoyed a game where I was able to be max level instantly. As part of the leveling process is learning how to play the game. We're looking for slow fix in the makers. Here. Him up there. Oh, is he going to be in there? Oh. Rayflox. Rayflox, what are you doing here? Alright. I still haven't gotten my level 60 skill. Level 60 skill is... What is it? Fail, no. Not intervention. Passage of arms is 70. What even? Oh, that's right. It changes Riot Blade into, changes Riot Blade into a larger, my brain is just crapping out on me right now. Oh. Okay. Nice to know those don't matter. So the level 60 skill is going to give us Royal Authority. So it just changes Rage of Halone into stronger skill, which is definitely worth it. I'm gonna get myself a small bit of sugar. Help my brain. And we shall continue.
To me. Have at you.
Oh, I should also point out that the Goblin organization is known as the Illuminati. Which, you know, I understand some of the racist undertones there, but I don't think that it was intended that way. But Japan has their own history with racism that is completely different than how we understand it. Things that they don't consider racist, we do. And the parallels are not drawn that we tend to see. And I'm not excusing it. It's still a very still a very bad comparison. Very bad parallel, I should say. So with the completion of that quest, I have unlocked one of the quest recurrence. 5 quests and 10 gathered, and that's going to be true across all expansions, I believe. Pretty sure. Can't go that way. But I'm going to have to be able to go that way soon so that I can enter the 59 dungeon. Find out which, where we're at quest-wise. 58, okay. Okay. Well, Half-Fix is going to give us this quest. Others. Okay. Now it's going to let us go to the other half of the hinterlands. Yep. Grab the rapier. Alright, we have come out over here, meaning we can get the remaining 5 ether currents. We're gonna get the remaining 5 ether currents. There's somebody that's doing gathering. I think. Yes. Botanist. Have to get up higher to get that current. Could say that while running through this place, I'm very interested in current events. Yeah, that's a bad pun. Approximately 400 to the south. So, it's either the library that is going to be the next dungeon, or it's going to be the Arboretum. I'm pretty sure it's the Arboretum is level 60 dungeon. And the Great Google Library is next actual duty we go into. Oh, Crawler. Hello, Ornkite. You're going to aggro too, aren't you? Nope. So they introduced, for the level 70 relics, a place called Eureka. And Eureka is its own instanced world that functions on its own, world, basically. You gotta be level 70 to get into it. But you have your own separate, you have your elemental level when you get in there. So it doesn't matter what job you're in, will not gain experience for that job, you will gain elemental level. I bring this up because, mobs that out here will chase you for a very short distance before they give up. Like that Sun Leech, it won't even reach me before it turns back. In the Eureka place, the mobs will chase you for half the map. Worth, realizing that before you enter Eureka. Oh, leech. Question, will I get the current before it reaches me? Yes, I will, because it won't reach me. East. Gathering all of these right now will save time in the long run. I think Azus Law is the only place that I cannot get all of them right away. Great Google Library. Cockatrice. And the last one is going to be up near the library, I believe. Wrong button. Yep. 181 east. Gonna be the last one. Pretty sure that's the last one. And hey, guess what I forgot to do again? I just ran in and then ran out. Okay, that's on me. I was too excited to get the ether currents. Yep. All on me. Now then. That's death. The thing aggroed me right at the last second, right as I was falling. That's what happens if you're in combat and you jump and take a lot of damage. And I think that's the first field death I've had outside of an instance. Travel, teleport. Alright, let's go Dravanian Forelands, Annex Trine. Alright. Let's go grab the Idleshire. I don't know how it's pronounced. It could be Idleshire. Could be Idleshire. Depends on if they're using American or British pronunciation. But with a lot of the places, they use British pronunciation, so it could be just Idleshire. Or even Idealshire. Okay, so I can't fly here until I finish quests. And take care of that quest, so we can drop it off when we get back in there. And that is what we are going to do. Because it's an ether current quest. Don't mind me just stomping along and Jumping along in my automobile. Oh, fate's up. I don't even think I've completed that fate on my main character. Okay, good. The ads are not going to attack me until I sink. I'm not gonna be able to do it until I kill these guys. So, I'm not gonna do this one. And I'll tell you why I'm not gonna do it, because it's a half-hour long fate, meaning that it's a large group fate. And it'll take me probably about 10-15 minutes to kill it by myself. Illuminati pot. Actually, let's see. This guy's fairly weak. It looks like we're doing decent damage to it. Needle burst, run away. Yeah. See, we're not doing decent damage to the boss. I'm going to... might actually be able to get it. Nope, because I started the fate. Okay. So, you'll occasionally come across fates that you cannot do solo. While you can sometimes get a hold of people that want to do the fate in the zone that are there with you. Might be more common in the Heavensward zones right now. You can join a link shell that is a hunt link shell, and they tend to keep you abreast of stuff like that as well. It's not a special fate because you can see it on this map. It is a achievement fate, though. You'll get an achievement, and I think either a piece of cosmetic gear or a minion from that one. Special fates will not show up on this map. They'll only show up on the mini-map when you get close to them. That would be in Realm Reborn in 2.0, that's going to be Odin and Behemoth. And in Heavensward... gosh, I can't think of who they were in Heavensward. Stormblood, it's going to be... there's a Fox one, and I forget the other one, and then in Shadowbringers there's one in Kalusia. It's at the top of the cliff. And it gets you a frog mount. Not an actual frog. A mechanical frog. believe that's a mount you can get on the item shop. So half 6. We'll give the distributors. That's going to give us 1 more. Take the armed guards offending. And now we do what we should have done before. Hello, Aetherite. These are the current, very difficult to obtain mounts. You have to do some streams in the new content. Sorry, men. Alright, now we continue with everything. And hopefully we won't die again tonight. But I still have to rerun the battle in the Big Keep. Now that I've seen the fight again, I can better explain it, I think. Oh, dang, we have to go all the way down to Matoya's cave. This when we got introduced to her. Seems like she appeared much later, but could be because she gets referenced in later expansions as well. So once I complete the storyline to level 60, it's going to open up a whole slew of dungeons. So look forward to that, because it's going to be dungeon after dungeon after dungeon, and it's also going to open up the raids. And out of the 24-man raids, I think, what is it even called for this? But the raids from the level 60 area are my favorite. Just in the terms of mechanics and enemy design, it's all really cool. Oh, it looks like it's drawn all the wonderful people that are still going through quests. Do I still have my sprout? I still have my sprout. Listen. Go away, I'm not gonna kill you. Right, we now go inside Matoya's cave. Okay, we kill... Then we enter Matoya's cave. Okay. It magically teleported in there now? Oh, mount speed is increased. That's good. Nato Rogo. Examine the medicinal herbs and defeat the bugs that appear. Speak with the enchanted. Speak with Broomsy at the Great Google Library. Well, we're on our way to the Great Google Library. Let's take care of these herbs first. So when we return, we can turn this quest in. No, I didn't think that I would complete these, complete all this so quickly. Just... life gets away from you. As the song states, time keeps on slipping into the future. Now I will kill you until you die from it. Okay, it's dungeon time. Or if you prefer, it's goofy time. Probably shouldn't use that meme. A lot of memes that seem funny kind of have roots in not so funny instances. Okay, so I think I know what I might try to do for my October 18th stream. Yeah, I'm planning ahead because it's the streamiversary. And I consider that my streamiversary because it's the first, it's the date that I can actually locate to when I started, you know, streaming seriously. So it's the date that I will be using. Because I've been on Twitch since, let's say, since before Amazon owned it. I've had an account. Pretty sure. Alright. Want to close the Realm Reborn. Want to go Great Google Library. So, when you look at this and you see this little mark, it just means that items levels will be lowered so that you do not have, since the level cap on this is 60, and my item level is 255 across the board, it's probably going to drop me down to like 160. Oh, it's going to drop me down to 100. Take that back. 150. 150. Wait for that to let us in. Waiting for a healer. Won't matter where we go because after we get out of the dungeon, it'll put us right where we need to be to complete the quest. Don't jump off the bridge this time. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the comparison. You know, a lot of other games that have, you know, this is a ruined location. These are ruins of a civilization. You don't get to explore them. Whereas here we've got ruins of a civilization, and I'm going through one of the ruins as the dungeon. Great Google Library belonged to a different civilization. overrun with things. Same with Nofika's, not Nofika's, Saint Moshian's Arboretum. And some places are new, like Brayflox's Longstep. The hard mode is build, and Pharaoh's Serious Hard is also a... Most of the hard modes are basically revisiting the dungeon after you've cleared it, which is really wonderful for plotline and for just like content. Ultima! Welcome in, Ultima. How are you doing tonight? You're about to witness one of my teaching lessons in this game. As soon as the dungeon starts. Running around right now exploring the map, so when I pop this up, I can actually see everything. I was a little late saying hi to you there. Apologies. I get chatting and I get caught up in what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, what I'm discussing. Sunbear. Everything named for the sun here? Why do I have a feeling that's going to be linked to a quest later? So we were waiting for the Great Google Library to pop. When we go in, I'm going to be explaining fights to people and thrash and talking. Okay, we've got everything but the middle. Don't think I can get that until I can start flying. Mount Google. It's raining. It's wet. I'm riding a behemoth. There we go. The Great Google Library. Don't believe this has anything to do with plot. We can watch it. Just kind of cool to see what the dungeon holds. Got some people here for the first time, so if I have to talk about the fights, we'll explain it to them. I really should have my level 60 skill, but it's not going to make much of a difference. Was it first time? Healer's first time. Okay, so I'm not going to go mean on the healer. I'll just pull like 2 or 3 groups. You know, not be mean. And you can stop and read these books as a little bit of lore. Always dodge out of AoEs if you can. Sometimes you do have to eat them. Don't think there's any place in here that you have to, though. So dodge. Got a Scholar Healer, so things should be okay. Cobra Falcon. A lesser-known cousin to the Millennium Falcon. Nope, nope, nope. Mine. Don't be attacking the people that are attacking out of turn. So, important little tidbit. If you are someone that wants to DPS while you're in the middle of a run, as in tank is still pulling stuff, I highly recommend that you, after things are dead, you click on the tank, and as soon as the tank does their ranged pull on the next thing, you switch to that and start attacking that, because that's not going to interrupt the pull. First boss, Demon Tome. Demon Tome will be face pulled. So, very similar to the Demon Wall book in Amdapor Keep. You'll have to do a little dance, but he's going to target somebody with a ground AoE. You dodge out of the different things, and you try to avoid the frozen thing. Then it's going to do repel. Best to run away. Disclosure. You run to the other side. Run to the other side, and if you're caught, you're dead. So this might be a wipe. I say might because I do have a heal. It's just going to be dependent on other people. Dancer has a heal. The ground is going to be turned to ice. You'll slip around if you head any direction. After it drops, you'll get another one of these. You just dodge both of them. Yeah, we're gonna have to reset this one, I think. Does the knockback, Wards of Winter. So after the knockback, you run forward. He's gonna close. So you want to go through. I'm going to try to heal the Dancer. Then I'm going to try to heal Dragoon. Need the mana to do it. Dodge. Cast. Move. This would be all over if I did not have my heal. I'm trying hard. Dodge. That's gonna go out. Have enough. Let's see if we can get the heal off on the Dancer. Okay. There's the knockback. Words of Winter. Now, if you are low on mana, one thing that you can do is just... Crap. You can't move through the book. Can't move through the book. So, if you are low on mana, one thing that you can do is just continuously chain Fast Blade, then Riot Blade. And as you can tell, some of these fights you can complete even after the entire party is dead except for you. So I'll wait for everybody to res and then teleport here, and then we will continue on. A lot of the bosses are borrowed from other Final Fantasy games, so you will see a lot of crossover. Got the Spanjules. Pull them up to the page 64 that appears, and you want to kill a page 64 first. Just as a general rule. That. And we'll pull up and get another page 64 that will drop down. Pop a few cooldowns. This is our healer. And we will cast a heal as well, just to be on the safe side. Sprite, get over here. I'm gonna line of sight the Sprite and come back out. You don't want to be line of sighting your healer in the dungeon. That's a good way to die fast. That, we got the page 64 again. Hopefully they remember to kill the page 64 first. They're going AoE, that's fine. And we are almost to the last second boss. Have one Spandule and a Pseudo Sprite. And one more page 64. Could not imagine playing this game in first person. Like when I played, well, I'll talk about that later. That's not something for the learning video. Alright, we're at the second boss. I will share a bit of information with the party. Okay, this boss, he has a couple of mechanics. He is going to return to the center at least twice. And when he does the charge, okay, when he does this charge, you want to be as close to the boss as possible because it does less damage. The farther away you are, the more damage you'll take. So, remember that. Okay, first one, he's going to summon 2 books. And we kill one of them. We focus one of them down. One member of the party is going to get linked with a ball. That ball linked on me, which is usually the good thing. You want to run it through the boss, because the boss right now has invincibility. Once the ball hits him, it knocks him back, and he starts taking damage again. Gale Cut. He summons these. You don't want to be standing in them, they do damage. And the next time that he goes to the middle and we get those orbs, we have to bide them around these anima balls, because it's going to destroy it. Now, the reason that you want to knock him out of the invincibility quickly is because you'll get a stacking debuff. On me again, so... Oh. Oh. Crap. Oh, no. It hit me, so it went off. No, no, it's gonna hit that. Okay. No. My ball hit one of them. I wasn't ready for the despawn recast, so that's on me. I forgot that happened, so be aware the second time around, there's a... Yep, and that's going to destroy it, because he resummoned them over there. You know, when this game was... When this dungeon was new, that was going to be a wipe. We got 4 stacks. Alright, that should be it for this boss. It's just finagling the orbs around the animal balls and avoiding his AoEs. When he charges somebody, if you're the person charged, then you get close to the boss. It's not always the case, but usually there is another indicator if you're not supposed to do that. Alright, so coming up here. Please tell me that's not the healer back there. Good. So we're going to come to the Skatine. The Skatine is going to summon something. You can't stop him from summoning whatever he's going to summon. He can't be interrupted. Stuff like that doesn't work. Let's be nice to the healer. So, as I was saying earlier that I don't think I really finished the thought, you can go between Fast Blade and Riot Blade, since Riot Blade's combo restores magic after you reach a certain level. So if you're just down to yourself and you need mana to cast Clemency on yourself, just go back and forth, don't do the full Rage of Cologne cycle. Just go between the two and you'll replenish your magic. If I were with a more experienced healer, nothing against this healer's skills, just from what I've been seeing, I'd pull down there. But I'm just being a little bit easier right now, because this is the final pull. Out of Celeste Green dye. Hey! That's what color my armor's dyed. Got the Skatine. You got the page 64. And the Skatine is going to summon 2 more Vodoriga Biblioclasts. I don't speak Latin or I'd translate that for you. Actually, I think that might translate to Book Burner. I am probably wrong, though. I am probably wrong. Last boss. When somebody says that you can read them like an open book, this is not what they meant. The ever-living bibliotaph. Alright, so the things to know for this boss. One of the other players is explaining it in the chat. So, you see these 6 rings on the outside. So through the fight, he's going to activate an ability which will summon enemies on all 6 of those pads. First time he does it, there's going to be 1 light on each, meaning 1 person has to run and stand on each of them. He's going to cast this ability. Targets you with an orb. The orb is going to start doing an AoE damage, very similar to what Diablos did. And we are going to have ads. Oh, we are not going to have ads. Nice. So, 1 person needs to stand on each one of those first time. Then 2 people are going to need to stand on them on 4 of them, I believe. And then the last one is going to be 3 people on 2. So your best option there is to move with the group. Just see where everybody else is running and go with them. So getting back to these orbs you really want to place between these circles on the edge. Don't have my sprint. And the reason that you want to put them on the edge... Dang it, we got 2. Last skill. He's going to do an AoE like that, and then cycle into a point-blank AoE. So it's a ring, then a point-blank. Next time he does it, it's going to be a point-blank, then a ring. Coco, run away, run away! Right, so normally you don't get the ads. The ads can really screw things up. So, okay. Thank you for making me a liar. Maybe it's after the next platform phase that he does the reverse. Because I've honestly never had it get that far. Only ever seen 1 ad summoned in this. Right, so 3 people get the orbs this time. Those are going to go out, and I'm going to pray that we do not get the, yep. Knew it. I knew it. Come on, Coco, rescue somebody. There we go. Coco. We'll get the Biblioclept. Yeah, see, he reversed it. So it is after... Oh. And I'm gonna get some damage from that and take heavy. I'm popping hollowed ground because I've never had this happen before. I've never had this fight go this badly. Even when the game was new. Right, I'm going to move this away from the orbs. So that the Dragoon can actually do stuff. Run in. So, even if you screw up, you can still get through the fight. Just keep your head about you, and you should be able to get through it really quickly. And that is the Great Google Library. It's not a real word. Okay. Good to know. Their commendation. That healer did a good job. Healer did a very good job. I know biblio means book, and I know classed has some other meaning to it. It's just combining different root words, and I I don't know if pyro is Latin or Greek. But it's possible that they're mixing roots. Half Latin, half Greek. Because a lot of video games will do that. And I'm sorry, I was not ignoring you. I go into my teaching mode and try to keep everything about the dungeon in question. And I have to redo one because Lazalicious came in earlier and dropped a 10 gift sub bomb, and it kind of broke me, and I was in the middle of doing one of them, so, you know, halfway through, I just, like, stop explaining the fight and just kind of automatically go through everything that's happening, while my brain is trying to go between somebody was just really nice to me, and I can't handle it, and the trying to explain what's going on in the fight. So it was kind of a mental conundrum for me. I believe that is an appropriate word because a conundrum is a word game that is mixed up letters and you try to do an anagram out of it. Alright, Sorrow Rogo. Bring you in. We get our third Ether Current. Yep, and then we just have one more quest for the last Ether Current after I turn this into Toya. But as I started saying in the dungeon, when I played EverQuest, the third-person view, the camera did not function well. You had one version of it was the cameras were fixed locations, so if you're running through an area, the camera angle would follow you as you're going through it, kind of like stationary cameras on closed-circuit TV. Or the way the cameras work in the early Resident Evil games. The other option was that the camera would always revert to right behind you, no matter what you were doing. Like right now I can sit here and I can move the camera. I'm not moving, so the camera is going to stay static. But as soon as I start moving, it goes behind me because I've got the camera set up like that. And EverQuest, it would always move back behind you. The way that game was set up, though, was meant to be a first-person playthrough. Because you could not... You couldn't judge distance as well. Why am I running? Why am I running when I've got to go back to Foundation? Wow. So, yeah. EverQuest was a nice introduction. It really set the bar high for how difficult and how, like, pulling fingernails a game can be. Tried going back a couple times, and it just, after what became a free game, part of the free thing is that it blocked off 2 of your inventory slots. And you had to pay to unlock them. And later, after it became completely free with Item Shop being the way that they fund themselves, those 2 bags were no longer in my inventory. So I lost everything that was in those bags, and there was probably yeah, a year and a half's worth of farming in one of those bags because I saved up and bought myself a mount. And mounts were extremely expensive in that. As I said, a year and a half of farming to buy a mount. Because unlike a lot of the games that are released now, don't really have... You can get all your skills. You don't have to, like, farm mobs for rare drops or trade with people to get your spells and skills. I mean, maybe you had to do that in like some of the D&D games, but it was quite apparent that you couldn't effectively farm stuff unless you had certain spells, and you couldn't get a party unless you had certain spells. So of course those spells cost an arm and a leg. Final Fantasy XI also had that function. I remember that specifically because of the skill refresh. You didn't automatically learn refresh, you had to go and get it. Nobody wanted a red mage in their party that didn't have refresh, and I was a red mage. So I learned how to be a red mage. That, red mage, main job, ninja sub job, so I could solo stuff. Because the red mage could enchant their weapons to deal additional magical damage. So if you're a ninja, you can be equipped with a weapon in both hands instead of a shield and a sword. So yeah, I was able to solo stuff that most people could not. Before they raised the level cap to 80, Red Mage was the solo class. You could solo with Beast Tamer, but you were not guaranteed that you could kill what you were fighting before, because they charmed enemies to fight for them. And if you're in the middle of the fight and your pet suddenly becomes an enemy, it made things hard. And they also had it to where if you had a pet out, it would decrease the amount of experience that you got. So it made it not worthwhile to solo stuff. Final Fantasy XI was rough in its own way. Cantaloupe. Like a cantaloupe, but made with a hand. Okay, we need to go to Fort Temps Manor now. I don't think we're gonna finish main story quest tonight. Just because I did the 59 duty. There's still quite a bit of storyline to get through, but I could be misremembering based upon how long cutscenes are, because when you finish the 2.0 storyline, there's like an hour's worth of cutscenes to watch. And, oh, they're so good. And each expansion is kind of like that. You get solid story for each update. I want to go to Forgotten Night. No, we do not. We want to go there. Okay, Astrologicum. Getting turned around. Grab another piece of sugar. Help the synapses fire. need to grab a Capri Sun next time I get ready for this. Oh yeah, I forgot that that's a fight that we have to do. There are 2 trials that we've got to do. And I don't remember. I think they are both relatively soon after hitting 60. Okay. Welcome to Azus Law. If you're thinking this looks completely futuristic and like a lot of the technology that you've seen in the game for the Allegan Empire, you'd be right. Forgotten all about this place. Despite the fact that I come here on Sav rather frequently. See, this is a prime example of being able to instance an area. Because that guy is involved in one of the Relic quests, and if we look at him, yeah, he's got Espiritus. Okay, that might not be... That's the most recent Relic weapon for Summoner. But they are involved in doing a lower level Relic quest for Summoner. And that's where they are dealt with. And I was having a discussion with a friend regarding the changes that they made to doing Relic weapons in Stormblood and in Shadowbringers. In that they had set up something in Heaven's Word that would have allowed us to continue using the same Relic weapon, just modifying and upgrading it, and they went in a different path. So here's hoping that Endwalker brings us back to this instead of how they've been doing the last 2 relics, because I have not completed either of them because they are just... I don't mind a grind in a game. I mean, I leveled Gathering on most of my characters with without doing leaps. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna mine up my materials that I can use for crafting. So I would go out and I'd mine my own materials for crafting. And, you know, spending 4 to 5 hours out there monotonously doing the same thing is not something that I'm against. Eureka and Bosgen Field just take monotony to a whole new level. Because they add in punishment for failure. And what I mean by that is, if you die in Eureka, you lose elemental experience. If you die in Bosgen Field, you lose merit. And they changed the way that things work between the two. So in Bosgen Field, you can spend merit after you hit max and complete a quest. You can use it to spend, I think it's like 20 million merit on improving one of your 3 base stats: healing, hit points, or damage. And you can take each one of those up to a max of 10. Let's take direct hit. It's kind of like faction points. It's more like spending your experience points after you level up. But you don't de-level when you lose the experience. You just... Well, I don't know if you de-level in Eureka. I think you might de-level in Eureka. In Bosgen, you still keep the same rank, you just lose the points. So that might be at least one step up from Eureka, but they split it into 4 different fields for Eureka. So you've got to go into 4 different maps, and you have to do it with a group. You can't do the content, you can't kill the monsters that drop the items that you need unless you're with a group, and nobody goes there anymore. And even back when it was brand new, if you did not know how to do a fight properly, there's a good chance you could get kicked from a group. Granted, you could still participate in the fight because it uses the fate system. Fate system being these things. They pop up, you run in, you do a certain amount of damage, and you will get credit for it. It's harder to get full credit if you're not in a party, though, because you get credit for everybody's damage done in a party, whereas when you're by yourself, you have to reach the minimum threshold by yourself. Which, let me tell you, can be difficult. Especially when the fights don't last very long. Bosgen Field introduced something, what is it, 56-man raid? 54-man raid? So, yeah, you can have a, yeah, exactly. And granted that since, Eureka has become past content, they've increased the buffs that you have and, decreased the demerits that you take for people actually being in the zone. So you can do stuff. Still, one death is going to set you back like a couple of hours worth of progress. And there are rarely people in there that will run up and resurrect you, which can eliminate about 70% of the it can eliminate about 70% of the demerit that you take. But Bosgen Field, they added in that plus damage, plus hit point type of system so that people... You've got people that have hit max on that, which is just absolutely insane because it's something like 360 million experience. Or is it closer to 600? Anyways, a lot of experience. And they can go in and they can solo certain fights that, you know, a party can struggle with if they don't have the buffs. Going through here. So at least they learned some from the problems with Eureka. I haven't been to Eureka in a while, and, you know, I want to go back and I want to finish the Bard Relic because I actually like the Bard Relic from that tier. But I don't have it in me to screw around in that zone when there's absolutely no benefit for it. And it's such a... The loss to gain ratio is not comparable. I'm just glad they did not carry over the the relic armors that they tried to bring about with Eureka. Because you could get a relic armor set, and some of the sets looked pretty cool. But the items needed to upgrade the armor was also the same items that you needed to upgrade the weapons. And the weapons took a considerable amount of time to farm the materials up for. So it's just like, you know, there's going to be better armor that drops in the normal raids, and I can get that in just a couple of hours. Whereas it'll take me about a week of farming to get the materials for this piece of armor that is not as powerful as what I'd get elsewhere. So I think poor design on their part, but they are learning. The armor that you get for the Bosjan stuff can be acquired relatively easily. Where am I going now? Back over there. And the difference is that the relic armor for Bosjan Field, or the Bosjan armor, actually gives you benefits while you're in Bosjan. You get haste, and I think, I forget what the other buff is, but basically you're able to attack faster, and haste is one thing in this game that is sorely underrated. Outside of that, almost nothing gives you increased attack speed and whatnot. I mean, gear has skill speed and spell speed, but it's negligible. The stuff that you get on that armor, it is far from negligible. Like, I currently have skill speed of 692, which decreases my global cooldown by 0.09 seconds. You get something like 0.03 for every point of haste. And you can have a stack of like 16 of it. What? Okay, so up there. Oh. Never mind. I'm just completely ignoring everything around me. So I really hope that they go back to a relic weapon where I don't need to enter into a 56-man raid, 54-man raid, just to do the same thing like 4 or 5 times in a row, and hope that the party that I'm with knows what they're doing. I haven't been there for a few months, so I don't even remember what I'm doing there anymore. And don't get me started on Eureka's item system. You had to gather 99 items to get the final part of the relic in one area. And the items were obtained through... you would get drops from certain fates that you would participate in, and then those drops would have a chance, a small chance of giving you the item that you need. So basically it is time-only gacha. And you know, I don't pay to play a game so that a gacha is what determines whether or not I get my relic weapon. Alternate path is that you can buy the items that you turn in to get said gacha draws from the market board, but then you're not guaranteed the items that you need when you turn it in. So I much preferred the random chance of, you know, the Atmas, because I went through the Atmas recently on this character, and I actually missed doing that kind of stuff. The Atmas were the so you got your relic weapon, and then you got your improved relic weapon, which I can show you in my inventory. That is the improved relic weapon, first stage. Well, technically second stage. That's 1.1 relic. Well, I guess you could say 2.1 relic since it was Realm Reborn. But that and the shield. The first relic didn't have the glow, so the glow is added. Then the next stage you get a different looking weapon, and that's the Atma. And then the Atma gets Atma Bravura, I believe. No, Bravura is up here. Anyways, then you get the Atma, and then the next stage of the Atma, and then you get to the third stage of which would be the 2.3 relic, then the 2.4, 2.5, and then the final one, which is after a lot of time spent doing stuff, gathering, doing quests, killing things, coming together, but you went all over the world to do it. And Eureka and Bozja take away the all over the world, and you're just stuck in this little instanced place that you can only focus on doing the relic weapon. That's what I hate about it. You can't work on other things while you're waiting for Bozjan stuff to happen. You have to be in the Bozjan field, and you can't queue for anything while you're there because it's an instance in itself. And to be honest, downtime, it's kind of nice when you're doing stuff. In there, it feels like you have to always be doing stuff for the 3 hours that you're there. Oh, Azisla only has quest currents. Okay. I don't mind games being difficult. I mind them forcing repetition to where it becomes what I didn't like about World of Warcraft towards the end of me playing it is that you log in, you do your dailies, that's it. And this game has set up where there are a few things that you can do daily, but they're not that important. You have weeklies that you can do, like the Wondrous Tales and the challenge log, which will give you bonuses based upon what you complete. And there are different ways that you can go. If you want to PvP, you can PvP. You just want to grind fates, you can grind fates. Thief quests, gathering. So it gave you a lot of options to do things. So the Bozjan field and the Eureka just feel like it is forcing people to continue to play if they want to get the relic, and not being able to go about it at their own pace, because don't get in there when that's the hot thing that they're doing. You're not going to be able to get it. Like Eureka, it is extremely difficult to get the 70 relics now. And in a couple weeks, actually in a couple months, in November when Endwalker drops, it's going to be really difficult to find a group to get. Oh, I've got to go down and around. That's right, I've got to go through their base. So when 6.0 comes, if I don't have my Relic on Sav, I'm probably not going to get it. Because although it is designed to allow people to complete the content with smaller groups, you also need to have been able to purchase the items that require spending weeks in the zone by. Whereas the level 50 and level 60 relics, you pretty much hit the ground running with them. I'm still trying to get all the level 60 relics on Sav, which is my main character. There are some hiccups there. Usually it's light farming. Light farming can actually be done by yourself if you know what you're doing, and you can do it really fast. Just enter into you can do it one of two ways. You can do it yourself by just doing the dungeons that give light by yourself, unsynced, over and over with the weapon equipped. Fast way to do it is to find somebody that's farming Alexander Savage 1 unsynced, and you can get it done in an hour. Like all the light that you need in, well, maybe not an hour. So light is kind of like experience for the weapon. And you need, I think it's like 2400 light, and like the normal amount that you'd get from a dungeon is 2 to 4, and then it goes exponentially up. And Alexander Savage 1 usually gives 64, and if it is a good run, you'll get double that. And it can be done in approximately 3 minutes. Probably faster if you've got a full group of level 80s. The last time I tried to farm light was back in Stormblood, so it's been a while. Okay. Mr. Van Hydrus, would you please just stand alone? Oh, let's pop Iron Will so that we can kill things.
To this.
And I know it sounds like I'm complaining, and you know, to a degree I am, but it's more me hoping that they will do better in the next expansion. Because they have actually done relatively good with what they have given players. It's like they don't have to do stuff like adding the relic weapons. I mean, granted, players kind of expect it, but it's not something they have to add. I'm one of the people that feels that you can be critical of a game that you're playing and that you enjoy. So, that's kind of my standpoint. Okay, out of all of these guys, I think his helmet is the coolest.
I have heard the tales of your strength, warrior of light.
I know they borrowed the look of the armor from the judges from Final Fantasy XII. Alright, this is the last one before we can fly out here. Right? Yes. Get there. Down. Round. Were we here? We are here. Okay, so I'm gonna take you by one of my favorite places in the zone. If I can. Yeah, there's a tunnel. So it is a lore area as well, but I'm not going to say too much about it other than who it is. Here. Not at the tree. Here we are. Oh, that is where we're heading. So, this is Tiamat. And if you're watching, you can see that she is still moving. She is basically locked in place. And you will learn about that by watching some of the stuff around here. But Tiamat is the mate of Bahamut, who was basically the final raid boss in 2.0. Fly! And it forced me onto Midgard Sormir. That is Midgard, right? I am not having a stroke, right? Deathclaw beam. Yes. But yes. Tiamat. Since all of Heaven's Word is about fighting with the dragons, I just love this because she's encased. She can't leave. Kind of sad. Okay, okay, we gotta go to the center area. Gotta go to the ship. Yeah, 1.0 was basically what would happen if Bahamut was released. So Bahamut kind of destroyed most of the world while he was released for about 3 minutes. He was eventually forced back into containment as one very powerful mage basically summoned the Phoenix into himself to fight. And yeah, it's kind of a big hoopla there. I don't have any issue talking about the 1.0 storyline because you can't play it anymore. So, if you want to know what happened before the events of Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, some nice people have archived it on YouTube. And you can go back to like the Final Fantasy wiki and read through what happened then. But for the cutscenes, like the great cutscene of Midgardsormr just destroying an enemy vessel, one of the Ishgardian vessels, and sacrificing himself to destroy the vessel. I highly recommend checking it out. Okay. Have to go above? No. Have to wait for the quest to catch up. I'm gonna be going into another dungeon, I think, shortly. Yep. Anthrochemical Research Facility. I hated this dungeon. I absolutely hated this dungeon. And when people were running stuff to get poetics for relics, wrong thing. When they were running to get elegant tomestones of poetics to buy things for relic weapons, they would always run this one because you would get 150 stones for it. I hated it because I was running to get company seals. And you get company seals by taking gear and turning it into the pre-company, the Grand Company. And this dungeon has no gear drops. So that's why I hated it. It's learning a few things and gotta go sell crap from my inventory. So much crap. Might be able to sell that for something. Won't be able to. Okay. We're going back into teaching mode. The Anthrochemical Research Center. I think statistically this dungeon has been run more than any other. Alright, so crash pulls here are going to be easy. Make sure if you're tanking to activate tank stance and don't pull too much. When I say don't pull too much, the game actually limits how much you can pull on each section. So you're going to have a bunch of these blockades that come up like this as you're going through. The next section, they should already be up, I think. And then as you kill the previous enemies, more will spawn. Yeah, the walls are already up. Take that back, the walls were not already up. Hey, Hunter. Hunter! Try to make sure to keep threat on everything. Pay attention to your threat list if you're the tank. And if you're DPS, pay attention to how high you are on the threat list. You get aggro, run over by the tank because it can be easier for the tank to pull threat off of you if you are in melee range and they can actually AoE. Because the aggro generated by healing will not be as significant as one Total Eclipse. Look at that, we're already at the entrance to the first boss. Alright, Medicus, we're gonna come stand over by you. Dodge out of the ground AoEs. And when this guy dies, this opens. First boss. It's gonna be regular Von Hydrus again. So, for this guy, he is going to be a very simple tank and spank type fight.
Nowhere to run. Enough. Can you withstand this?
Gonna run off the line AoE. There's gonna be a turret over there. DPS should go for the turret. Technically, I think I should be over there too. Yeah, I should have been over there. Forgot about the turret. That's why I wasn't there. But while the turret is up, it's going to be laying down a line AoE, and Regulus is going to be doing one as well. So he's also going to have a point where they're doing AoE damage. Also going to have a frontal cone AoE that very wide cone. Yeah, a very wide cone, as I said. It's an obtuse cone. But I think that's all. He's a very simple fight. The American voice actor, English voice actor I should say, sounds kind of like Jude Law. No, it's not, because he would cost way too much for a game like this. Without billing, of course. It's such a minor character. Alright. This trash. This is gonna be fun trash. Got this cultured biomass stuff. Establish threat. Keep running. They will die. much like the first section, you've got points where enemies are going to come out of. They're going to come out of these jars. So you basically come up, smack the node. The node is going to be dealing damage to everything around it. And then this happens. So I'm going to go stand by the healer. They're going to come over for said healer. I am going to AoE as soon as they get close. You don't have to stand outside of the AoEs that have the eye on them. You can just look away from the monster that's casting it. Now there are two ways of dealing with this section. You can either burn the node down first, where you've got all 16 ads, or you can do it in sections to where you get 8, then 8, and then you burn down the node completely. I forgot that as a paladin, I've got one nice way of pulling threat off of the healer. Casting a heal. So, you've got two instances of this. Second node is up here. And it's going to have some larger enemies. So, that happens, enemies come out, I cast heal, they all aggro on me. At least they should. And it's nice to you know, tank them up by the node so that the AoEs can hit. Alright, let's cast a heal. There we go. They're all on me. We've got a Chimera in this group. So we're not going to tank it on the stack with everybody else. Tank it over here so that the Chimera has its AoEs go off away from everybody else. There we go. So that trash section is done. Sorry, gotta pop my knuckles. Hands are getting stiff. Armachis. This boss I hated back in the day because this boss changes shape. When it changed shape in the past, when this was a dungeon that everybody would run, you would lose focus. You would not be targeting, so when it changed shape right there, it'd go like that. So I'm glad for that. Petrifaction, look away. You want to pay attention to everything the boss is doing. Its different shapes will give it different abilities. Such as the petrifaction that we just saw there. Riddle of the Sphinx. Ground targeted AoE. Weighing of the Heart changes form again. This one just does a point blank AoE to everything around it. And it launches a missile at a target. It knocks them into the air. And heal that. Yep. They would have died if I hadn't healed them. So, pay attention to stuff like that. I think you can move out of the target area for that. I'm not 100% though. So if you get targeted with the missile, try moving. If it follows you, then you can't get out of it, but I believe you can dodge it. The little red ring that'll appear around you, and it's got like a laser sight from above. Lift terminal. Use the terminal. this is going to be an elevator fight. And the elevator is just long enough for you to actually kill the things that spawn. Okay, the thing that you want to tank here is the Dreadnought. The other things, the DPS should be getting down while you tank the Dreadnought. Kinda don't want the Dreadnought over by either of them because it's got the frontal cone AoE. Alright. Let's see, how does it go? Ground floor, perfumery, stationery and leather goods, wigs and haberdashery, kitchenware and food. Going up. First floor, gentlemen's ready-made suits, shirts, socks, ties, hats, underwear, and shoes. Going up. Second floor, stationery, soft goods and furnishing. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched Are You Being Served? But that is neither here nor there. That's a segue that I shouldn't get into in one of these. So, you're going to have to fight a bunch of these guys. They're stored in containment fields. You get released, you pick them up, you kill them. Previous trash, the conjurers, you're going to come across more conjurers. And they're the ones that need to be killed first. I don't think there's a fight on this elevator. I think it just goes down and then... I am so glad to see people enjoying this content. Right, so, Conjurer, the Thaumaturge, but I'm just going to mark the Conjurer as the first one to kill. The reason that you want to kill the Conjurer is they heal. I got turned to stone because I was typing. Oh, let's toss out a heal. Okay. That's done. I'm going to cast a heal to get those things on me. You... sharing a little bit of history with the people in the party. And we are at the final boss, and we are going to skip storyline. Because this is story. So this is a boss in 2 phases. Alright, this is La Habrea and Igayorm. This is the first phase. Waiting for the other people to get through the cutscene. So, one of them is going to be on the outside of the ring, and they're going to be doing attacks. While the other one is who I'm fighting, who I'm tanking. I think I'd take La Habrea first. And then, once you get one down to almost death, then they'll switch. I think La Habrea's first. Nope. I was wrong. So La Habrea is going to be on the outside. He's going to be doing stuff like that. Dark Orb comes out. Just a tank buster type skill. La Habrea moved. Puts out the fields of pitch that you don't want to be standing in ever. Blizzard Sphere. Okay. Spears will go off. As soon as they go off, I will say not as soon as they go off. As soon as the AoE disappears. Crap. I might get hit. I did not get hit. So as soon as the AoE circle disappears, that's when you start moving to the next location. So pay attention to where the fireballs appear and where the ice balls appear. And they've switched. La Habrea is now the one that I'm fighting. Be careful, because the ground is going to become frozen. If you move while you're on it, you will slide. So keep that in mind when you've got the AoEs appearing. Adjust yourself and move. You might still get hit, as I was. And that is the first phase over with. Second phase. They become Gotenks. So for this phase of the boss, you will want to the only thing that I remember from this phase is you're dealing with all the abilities from the last fight. But there's going to be a large attack, and there are going to be 4 tears on the outside ring. And each person is going to want to run and jump into one of those before the casting of that Big Bang goes off. It might actually be called Big Bang. That might be one of Hades' attacks later. So this is the Ashian Prime. And we're waiting for them to get through the storyline so we can continue. I will explain everything as the fight goes through, even though I've spoken about the abilities that are going to happen. Is there glam? All right. This is the Ashian Prime. Ashian Prime will use all the same attacks from the previous fight. Ancient Eruption. There's a variant on the other eruption. Shadow Flare. Trying to remember what Shadow Flare is. Grade-wide damage. Okay. First one. Okay, you want to destroy these before they reach the middle. Golly, it's so much easier now. Players are going to get targeted with those. They are a ring around the character. They will deal damage if you stand in the section that is black. These are the tears that I'm talking about. They're going to be 2 on either side right now. Boss is going to go into universal manipulation. You want to run and get into one of the... Zenjiro is going to get hit. But the rest of us are going to be fine. I think the worst part of that is the minimum. Basically, you get turned into a tiny version of yourself. And I will say, I love new players just loving the fights, loving the content. If you're new to the game and you're watching this video, I hope you're enjoying what you're playing. Okay, he's got another one of these. For the fire sphere. And the blizzard sphere. It doesn't matter which one goes down first. They just all have to go down before it reaches him. If you get the ring, the only time that you should move if you get marked with the ring is if you need to move out of the other ring's damage. We're gonna have this again. We got 3 over there. I'm gonna run over, hop into this one. Looks like he's gonna get caught again, which is okay. It's their first time here. It happens. Alright, these orbs. These orbs are important. Run into any orb that is not linked to you. No, 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 no. You run into the orbs that are linked to you, you take massive damage. A lot more than you take from that. So I'm going to run around and hit the orb. Shadow Flare, that's raid-wide damage. I don't have... even is the skill I'm thinking of. But that is the final fight for this dungeon. So, healer did a good job in there. The first time. Post-combat chat with people. So, yeah, this is stuff that's going to be just chatting with people. A couple of these people are new, and their first time going through Heaven's Word. And at this point, we're maybe a quarter of the way through Heavensward Story. So keep that in mind going forward. Oh, thank you for stopping in, Ultima. I hope you sleep very well. Have a good night. Sorry, carrying on chats and two conversations can be difficult. When one is supposed to be verbal and the other is typed. Singularity Reactor is now available. I don't remember the Singularity Reactor. Trial? The trial. I don't remember this. I do not remember this in the slightest. Okay. I will probably get in with those people again. One thing, we do not want map, we want... Go. Helix. Unable to teleport at this time. Oh, I'm still instanced, right? That's what we need to do. Oh. Now we can go explore. Unveil a map and get experience points. Now I'm curious, I did not look for it. Did that give me the final thing for... No. There's still one more for Hinterlands, and I think it's after all this. It's to keep you from doing stuff in Hinterlands, I think. Because Idleshire is a location that you have to go. It's the quest hub. And for everybody that likes to do mining, there are temporary nodes that will spawn once every 12 hours Eorzea time. The same time frame on both sides, so like from 3 to 5. Doesn't matter AM or PM. And one of those is going to be over here. This little island right here. This is where you're going to be finding the Adamantium. I can never remember if it's Adamantine, Adamantium, because there are so many variations on that. So I think Marvel has trademarked Adamantium. Everything else is Adamantine. Yep, it's going to be on this island somewhere. And it will tell you what time in your... Oh, I don't even have the gathering log or the crafting log. I can't bring either of those up because I don't have either job. Something to look forward to when you start gathering. And when you do start crafting, materials from previous expansions are still relevant. This game does not punish players for leveling up skills. So if you are out there harvesting silver, good chance that you can still sell your silver ore because it's used to make hard silver. believe it's hard silver. Mithril is used to make dwarven mithril. So a lot of the old recipe, or a lot of the new recipes use previous expansions items. One reason that one of my characters, or my main character, has all of the a lot of materials from previous expansions, because you go and you check the market board for materials to craft stuff, and you're dropping like 10k on a single item that, 3 minutes and you've mined up the materials to make it. Fractal continuum. We're in the singularity reactor. So something that I will also mention is this is where all of the most of the trials for come later start. We'll have 3 that you fight in here, and that's where you get the Savage trials as well. There are other trials that you get, but the containment bays are in here. And they're fun fights. Sephiroth is one of them. It's not the long-haired, long-sword guy from Final Fantasy VII. It goes with a more traditional appearance for Sephiroth. I really want to say that this music was composed by Nobuo Uematsu because of the use of the organ, synthetic organ, because that's his instrument. But everything that I've read, Uematsu just does the main compositions and not the rest of the music, which, getting older, I understand. He's got other projects that he's working on, and he's also been sick. So I have never looked at it from this angle before. That's pretty intimidating. I'll need to finish my hunting log. Let's go do that while we wait. Southern... In Thanalin, we've got... guys... Orators. Southern Thanalin, here we come. Go to Forgotten Springs because it's closer. Desert speaks. Yep. Yep. The Singularity Reactor. Oh. I did not realize that was this fight. So, this typically is referred to as Knights of the Round. I don't rightly remember this guy's stuff, but I knew that this one was coming up. I didn't realize it was called the Singularity Reactor. So this is the king of H-Guard. And I will explain things as they go out, probably after they happen. Because I'm not too, I know the harder version of this fight more than I know this fight. All right. Here we go. So, you don't want to be standing in front of him if you're not the tank. He's going to do a phone attack that three-steps. Gonna cast Knights of the Round. This is where the fun comes in. So you've got these two guys. They're going to do their skills. If you remember how they were in the vault, the AoE is a larger AoE the next time it goes out. Dragon's Eye. What is the Dragon's Eye? Do not look at him. Look away. Look away, people. Look away. Okay, so 3 of us know to look away at the eye. Lightning Storm, that's going to be raid-wide damage. He's almost out of life. Going to cast Ancient Quake. We'll toss up some damage reduction for that. He is going to vanish now. Dragon's Gaze, look away. And that hit same people. So he's going to run away. He's going to summon ads. So each one is going to do a different skill. Got to make sure that things are done properly. Sorry. For that one, you have to have 3 people standing in the different pillars. You can't kill this guy before Sacred Cross goes off, I believe. Yeah. But its damage is going to be based upon what the life is at. This is the one where we've got to tank them away from each other. Crap. I might be thinking of the extreme mode of this fight. If you get linked with a chain, run away from each other. Okay, that guy's gonna do frontal thing, the other one's gonna be doing a frost. You don't want to be stacking on anybody that's got the frost. You're gonna leave a spot on the ground. This one, there are going to be rings that will gradually increase in size, so you do not want to be standing on any of them. Raid-wide damage. We've got comet circles, we gotta destroy them. Kill the small ones first, and then go after the large one. He's gonna come out. You can successfully dodge as long as you pay attention to where the previous line is. Remember, when it comes to AoEs, have any of my group got Divine Veil. So as soon as that goes off, Divine Veil, as soon as I get healed from a source, I'm gonna give everybody shield for a few seconds. But once you reach this stage, the fight's over. And Bob's your uncle. No. In the extreme mode, he will drop gear. We'll give it to the other tank. Didn't realize how quickly after a research facility that came. I believe after that is the end of 3.0 content, and we move into 3.1 content. We'll have a series of cutscenes. Yep. There's the credits. Normally I watch the credits. I like to see who made the thing that I just finished. And at the end of each expansion, you're going to get credits. And you're going to get a lot of cutscenes. So, be ready for that. So, this is the point where all of the extra content will be opening up to us. You'll see this guy right here, the Gods of Eld. Let's see how many quests I've got. Gods of Eld. Don't remember where that's going to take me. That might actually be the, that's the one we want, Sky Pirates. Once you hit 60, everything will open up to you. That's not, you know, locked behind story quests. Sky Pirates, if I'm not mistaken, is what sends us into the 24-man raid for this. Yep. That's gonna send us towards what we want to be going to next. Dark Spectacle is class quest, Gentleman Falls rather than Flies. That is actually the quest that Sav is on, so I am not going to take that because I do not know what goes on down that path, and I will probably be finishing that on Sav in the next couple weeks, just so that I can, if there are any dungeons that go along with that, we can explore them. So Foundation, we got to go there to find out if there are any quests to pick up for dungeons. But we're going to be calling this relatively soon. I'm going to go around and pick up some quests, and then I'm going to find someone to raid. Because it's been a good night. It's been a fun night. I'm going to go around and pick up quests, and then I'm going to rerun High Keep. Because I need to do that with a clean run for the videos. Right, so that's gonna be that. That's gonna be leaves. There are no more here. Aren't gonna be any there. Western Highlands. I don't think there are any in the Western Highlands. I think it's just Dusk Vigil. Don't know if there's a Dusk Vigil hard off the top of my head. We'll go just to be safe. But these are what we're going to be doing next time we come back to Final Fantasy XIV, which is likely going to be Monday. Thieves, nope, this little sword of mine. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's, I will pick that up just as a reminder to myself as well. This little sword of mine, Royal Authority. It's the Paladin quest, which I should finish before we continue. But having it in the quest list keeps it as a reminder for myself, because I forget things. I forget things. Surprising frequency. Most of them are going to be in fire, aren't they? You go to Idleshire. And there are going to be a ton of quests that weren't here before. Striking opportunities. Boisterous Bruiser. Yep. I think that's one thing that may have changed, is they started putting most of the armed. Okay, this is the one that unlocks Alexander, so we'll get that. A lot of the quests you have to go to certain areas to unlock them. So I will be running around and doing stuff to unlock them. I think this one is going to be unlocking... Oh, I thought that was a cloud. Let me Google that for you. That's going to be the Great Google Library hard mode. Taking stock. Okay, that's going to be the last thing that allows me to fly here. I don't think you can fly in the city. I think you can only fly outside, but it's nice. This is... You're able to use... Mina, an unexpected proposal. Okay, this is the level 60 relic weapon. Going around, we just have to go and grab this Fires of Somal, which is going to give us the hard mode for Somal. After we do that, we'll battle in the big keep. Down. Join. Okay. Pretty sure I know where some of the other quests are. I am going to go there after I complete the flying quest for about the right side. Let's complete... Oh, we have to go... No, we just have to go there. Overgrown Ambition is going to give us St. Mochium's Arboretum, which is a pretty fun dungeon. I'm not going to deny that. It's like an upgraded Aurum Vale. You? Breaking opportunity. Armed. Doc would go down there. It's getting late. Something that's kind of fun is a lot of the models they've kept from other games. Like the Eureka back there. They are from Final Fantasy XI. They called Eureka? Crawlers. Eureka in other incarnations. They look like certain butterfly larvae. Or caterpillars, if you will. A Hetchy Treasure Hunter. For some duties that you cannot unlock the hard mode until after you have completed the easy mode, rather the normal difficulty. It's only called hard because it's not necessarily more difficult, it's just revisiting the dungeon later, and adding the hard to it is just easier in naming conventions. Now, my friends, you can fly. Great Google, let us unveil sections and get the experience. For that, you can see a little bit better now. That wasn't there before. When I came by earlier, that was not there. And when you reach a certain point in the storyline, Alexander starts crawling his way out. And I know that a lot of people really love Bahamut as one of their favorite summons. Alexander has always been one of the big summons, of the big damage dealing summons. Carbuncle still has a soft spot in my heart from Final Fantasy VI. Okay, what am I... Oh, Maker's Quarter. I liked Carbuncle in Final Fantasy VI because when you summoned him, it gave you a everybody reflect. So, always a good one to have around if you're going into a magic fight. All enemy damage done by magic would be reflected. I am glad that they got rid of the elemental alignments in this game. Eureka is the only place that plays. That. When the game first came out, you did have elemental resistance, and you were able to, Hey. Lookout spot? That's a lookout spot. So, when this game first came out, you had elemental resistances, and you would be able to, like, boost your defense against fire. So, if you're going against Ifrit, you could equip gear that diminished fire damage. And it wasn't really the gear, it's what you would put on the gear. So the materia, I think I still have some of the old materia that you can't fix anymore on Sav. But I may have gotten rid of it to make some space. So we're gonna go to Limsa, because I know of at least one that probably starts there. While we wait for the combat to end. Limsa is always a long load in. Dance, want to be sure. Ninja. Color. I gotta check and see if the anniversary celebration is still on. Because I need to do that on one of my alts. No, I missed it. Oh, damn. There it is. That is so focused on other things that I missed the anniversary celebration. I got it on this character, I think, and my main character. Or maybe just this character. I may have missed it on Sav. That would be the first holiday event that I've been active for that I've missed. That's gonna unlock Hullbreaker Island hard. Which story for that is actually important lore for Limsa. Alright, travel, teleport, airport? Airport. If we hit 15 minutes and I haven't gone in, I'm going to call it there. Leaves. Might be a story unlocked for that one. I can go look up where all of these unlock, but we're back onto doing a lot of dungeons. One stream. So that will probably be Monday. Yeah, we're gonna take care of all of that Monday. So if you're looking for a video for Battle for the Big Keep, it's not going to be on this next section. Although it is in this video, it's going to be in for a future section. So I apologize if looking forward to that fight after seeing it earlier. I got distracted, and I'm not going to complain about the distraction because Lazalicious was extremely generous with what they did. Thank you again for the 10 gifted subs. And of course for the follow. It's nice to have a follow that is not a bot. And for the past, seems like past 2 weeks, yeah, before that my last real follow came on August 25th. So it's been 2 weeks. Alright. Thanks to everybody that came in and watched. I appreciate your company. I like having somebody to talk to, so thanks for stopping in. I have been Sentient Dessert. You're gonna go raid somebody. Let's check out and see what's on. see. Let's keep it in the Final Fantasy 14. Yeah. Else is. Wow, a lot of friends are streaming right now. I've rated them before. The only one that's playing Final Fantasy 14 on my friends right now. Oh, no. There we go. So we're gonna raid Blue Ether. Show some love over to their stream. I will see you over there. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Be safe. And I will see you on Saturday probably. Stream for tomorrow is iffy. We will see how things play out tomorrow. You over there?